These days, seems like there's new companies coming out with a pistol red dot every week. A lot of these new offerings cost as much or less than the big names you're familiar with and offer the same features. Shake awake, check. Side loading battery tray, check. Durability, yeah, it's got that too. Let me introduce you to the Cyelee Wolf EDG. This is an enclosed red dot. Think Hollow Sun EPS, except unlike the EPS, this is an RMR footprint. This isn't the first Cyelee optic I've used, but they did send this one to me so I could check it out and give you guys my thoughts on it. So let's dive in. The Cyelee Wolf EDG, which stands for Enclosed Duty Grade, is a fully enclosed red dot which helps protect your emitter from dust, rain, snow, mud, or whatever might find itself on your pistol optic. Where Cyelee managed to excel with this is giving it an RMR footprint. So this will direct mount to anything with an RMR footprint or use RMR footprint adapter plates. And that's where the Hollow Sun EPS falls short. With a 507K footprint, it's great for micro optics with that cut, like the SIG P365, but for people who want to put it on a larger pistol, this means buying a new optic plate, or if it's direct milled, buying an optic plate when avoiding it was the whole purpose of getting the slide milled in the first place. This dot offers only one reticle option, that being a 3 MOA dot, but you do have your choice of colors. You can have red or green, depending on the flavor you like. I think the 3 MOA is a good compromise of size. I prefer larger dots for EDC, like a 5 or 8 MOA, but the 3 MOA really isn't that small, especially on higher brightness settings. It looks larger, but on a normal brightness setting, you'll still have the ability to achieve high levels of accuracy. I do have astigmatism, so it's a bit starry for me. However, I do think it's actually a good dot in spite of that. It's not as distorted as other red dots I've used in the past. With my glasses on, I have nearly a perfect dot, so for my astigma bros out there, maybe this is something to consider. I have the red, and off the jump, there was one thing I think could be improved, and that's making the dot a bit brighter. I use this in the middle of a clear sunny day, and against the white on the targets, it seemed a little too dim for me, and I found myself hitting the button to increase the brightness a couple of times to see if it could get any brighter. A more intense or vibrant dot would make it easier to pick up and track if you're using it in the middle of a sunny afternoon or if you're using a pistol mounted light. However, it does have 8 daytime settings as well as 2 night vision settings if you need that kind of thing. But this was my only real complaint, and it's not like I couldn't see it. I was able to train with it just fine. I just wanted it to be brighter. Functionally, it's running great, even after beating it on concrete multiple times. And I think durability is going to be where this object stands out long term, and I definitely abuse this more than you're going to carrying it and taking it to the range. Even after repeatedly smacking this on the concrete, there was less damage than I anticipated going into it, and it looks worse than it feels. Actually, I ended up filming the concrete clips multiple times, and you're not even seeing all of those clips. I did this about halfway through my live fire testing, and my dot continued to hold 0 for the remainder of the shooting we did. It is advertised with a safe drop height of 6 feet, claiming that these optics are tested from a height of 6 feet, lens first, onto concrete, and will hold 0. I can tell you confidently that this just continues to run. I'm at just about 1,000 rounds with this optic, and the Wolf EDG hasn't stopped yet, even with the rough treatment. I like the look of it. It kind of has a Hollow Sun EPS with a little RMR HD vibes, and the huge window is a great feature. The window is actually the same size as the Hollow Sun EPS, but for less. This also has a very low deck height, so this will co-witness with your standard height sights like the ones I have on the pistol it's mounted to. So if you have a favorite set of iron sights you'd like to co-witness with, they'll likely work great with this optic. I did find the glass to be pretty clear. There's only a slight tint when you look through it, but it's not really noticeable. What is noticeable though is this does not have a magnification. Some red dots will say they're a 1x or no magnification, and then when you look at it, you can clearly see some magnification, and this really doesn't have any of that. Having that kind of slight magnification or distortion can really play with your eyes when you're trying to shoot with both eyes open. With the Wolf EDG, you don't get that. It's just nice, clean vision. The large window also makes it really easy to track your dot under recoil and find it if it's a little off center one way or the other out of your holster. Sometimes we're a bit sloppy, and that's okay. Having a big window makes it easy to find your dot sooner and make those small adjustments to get on target. The buttons are pretty clicky. It's good feedback. You can feel it and you can hear it. They're not very stiff, but I never noticed them accidentally being pressed while I was carrying or running drills on the range. On the other side is the battery tray, which still, this is one of the best improvements in the red dot industry. A side loading tray so you don't have to take off the optic to replace your battery. This runs on a single CR1620 battery, which they claim will give you up to 50,000 hours of maximum battery life. They don't say on which setting, but I'm assuming on a medium brightness running the Shake Awake auto off feature. With battery life like that, you won't have to worry about changing your battery every couple of months, and this gives you peace of mind. Adjustments to sighting your red dot are on the top and side of the tray, and they're 1 MOA per click. This came pretty close to zeroed for me, and I only had to make some minor adjustments to get it on target. I know some people won't like the overall design, and I can see what Cyelee is going for here. There's a theme between the design of the housing and the name of the optic model. What this does though is make them distinguishable from other optic companies. While it might not be your cup of tea, if you're familiar with Cyelee, you know exactly where the red dot came from if you saw one. I think the price point is also where this shines. The MSRP of the Wolf EDG is $279, whereas something like the Holosun EPS is $388. And let's not even talk about the price of the Trijicon RCR. I mean, it's a lot of the same features for a lower price and an RMR footprint. The glass is clean and clear, plus there's no magnification or distortion, and that's a W in my book. I think we're learning more and more that affordable doesn't mean cheap, and the Cyelee Wolf EDG is just another example of that. But hey, I'm just some guy on the internet, so let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think affordable means cheap still? What's your favorite affordable brand? I appreciate you guys checking this out, and I'll catch you on the next one.